Huge things are happening with Overwatch right now, man. I'm talking game changing. So if you didn't know about it, we knew that Overwatch was going to come out with something called Spotlight. It sounded like it was going to be some type of event where they were going to tell the things that were going to happen basically for the year or the next few years. But we got for a year. Basically, they just dropped a video that basically just said like, yo, this is what's going to be coming out. This is what's going to happen for the next few seasons. And they are huge. And basically the reason why I'm here is to get my thoughts on these changes and additions and like basically the stuff that was said in the Overwatch 2 Spotlight. Now, if my memory served me right, we've never had anything like Overwatch 2 Spotlight. Like last year, we didn't have anything Spotlight related. We did have a director's take that did announce like some of the important stuff that was happening, but that was like with a green screen, you know, and it was some pretty cool stuff that were said, obviously. But then this time around, Overwatch decided, you know, we're gonna have like a whole set. And something about the entire video that I watched, this felt like it was more budgeted and a lot more effort went into it. So I'm basically going to give my thoughts and opinions in chronological order with the video. So if they talk about perks first, then I'm going to dive into the perks thing and, you know, etc, etc. But anyways, hey, hello, what's up, whatever. It's your new boy Les, and welcome to a new video. And if you're new, welcome to the channel. But yeah, basically we're just going to get into Spotlight and I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions in terms of some of these additions and changes. Now, off rip, and I know I kind of already glazed it already, but like the set that they got Aaron and all the other developers and leaders and designers and whoever was on the set for the recording, it was pretty dope, I can't lie. It was a big step up from last year, and in terms of where Overwatch 2 video productions in terms of announcing things goes, I would say it's definitely up there. I think it's top one for like these types of announcement things. Obviously, we're not talking about like the animations and the cinematics and whatever. Talking about something like Spotlight. One thing Aaron said that like kind of caught me off guard, I guess. He says something about there being so much content and so much things coming to Overwatch that they couldn't even fit it in the Spotlight video, and the Spotlight video is already like 34 minutes long. So it's like, damn, okay, this probably is going to be a big year for Overwatch. But obviously I wasn't going to let it paint the rest of the video and be hyped for it. You know, I didn't want to give too much. Now, the first one that comes up in the video, and possibly the biggest one, or definitely up there for being one of the biggest additions / changes, is the introduction of perks to Overwatch 2. Now, this isn't some like separate game mode. This is like gonna be in the core game. So basically, if you're gonna go solo queue unranked and play casually, you're gonna be able to select, you know, perks, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, I think it's really important to clarify the date that I'm recording this. It's currently the 16th of February. So if there's some things that I'm missing, it's because I watched the video like a while ago. I don't really remember exactly every single word that was uttered. So with the perks, what I was hoping for was going to happen as soon as I, you know, heard him say like, yo, we're adding perks. I was hoping it was going to be a way to deal with hard counters. So like if you're a Maga, you could get a perk that like maybe helps with, you know, dealing with anti, or, you know, makes you a little more spongy at certain moments, elevates some abilities and ults and, you know, whatever, that type of thing. Basically, I was kind of hoping that they went with perks in a way that basically like dealt better with counters. So basically there isn't like a super duper hard counter. But with the way Aaron phrased it, that's not going to happen. It's purely just to elevate gameplay. So it's to make you feel more powerful. He kind of phrased it in that way. So I'm definitely not expecting there to be perks that necessarily help with current countering problems that we have with Overwatch, or help with dealing with certain heroes better, etc, etc. Now, at the time of this recording, I don't know like all the perks. I only know like some of them, which was shown in the video. But I think the addition of perks is great, and it kind of shows that Blizzard and the developers of Overwatch 2 are really locking in with making Overwatch a casual game rather than a competitive game, kind of similar to Marvel Rivals. I'm pretty sure a lot of us can agree that Marvel Rivals is definitely more catered to a casual player base than it is a competitive player base, even though there is a competitive game mode, which is perfectly okay. Not saying there's anything wrong with it, but I do think it's super duper interesting that Overwatch is going in this direction, considering everything they do with Overwatch CS and their collaboration and integration with Faceit, and some more things that they talk about further in the video with Faceit and everything. And now another huge, humongous popular change / addition is the return of loot boxes. So if you don't know, back in Overwatch 1, there were these things called loot boxes. And basically, as you played the game, you kind of just earned loot boxes and you could get a free cosmetic from these loot boxes whenever you unlocked them. Depending on the rarity, I think you would get more or less. And obviously there was increased chances, you know, kind of like the gambling type of thing. So basically those are back. And personally, I'm not opposed to it. With scrolling through Twitter a bit more, apparently the loot boxes are not going to be like purchasable at all, which is a super duper interesting thing, because I thought that would be like the easiest thing to monetize, but Clearly not. But I also think that they're not monetizing loot boxes because the issue with loot boxes being purchasable is that it allows for gambling, and I know that did conflict with a few countries. I think that's why Overwatch was removed from China in the first place, but now it's back. Also, that's the other huge news. Overwatch is coming back to China, and they have like their own competitive, placing for themselves in their region, which is super duper cool. So I think it was removed because, of the gambling aspect, because it is basically gambling. If you purchase 10 loot boxes and you don't get the thing that you want, you're probably going to feel incentivized as an addict or as a person who's kind of gambling to get more loot boxes to get the thing that you want. So that could possibly be a reason why they haven't monetized it. I don't see this as a con. I'm perfectly happy with loot boxes coming back, but I hope it's not a situation where it's like you can earn 20 loot boxes a season, but you can only like obtain 3 loot boxes if you're not trying, and for the rest of those loot boxes you have to like really try to get them. Like you have to grind for hours and you have to buy the battle pass for most of them. I don't want it to be that type of situation, but even if that will be the situation, we have loot boxes again, which I think is overall a dub. We're not losing anything. Now from season 15 onwards, when you hit gold and above, you're able to get like a charm that kind of says like, yo, you hit this rank, which is pretty dope. I don't see anything wrong with it. I know that charms are not popular, but we're literally losing nothing by getting something like this. So a pretty dope addition in my opinion. Also, rank plates are coming back. So basically you'll be able to see your rank on the bottom left of your character for that role, I'm assuming, like how you used to be able to do that in Overwatch 1, which is pretty super duper dope. It's kind of great that these things that made Overwatch 1 great are coming to Overwatch 2, even though it has been a while. It's an addition that I don't think anyone can hate on, really. I guess it kind of adds to the UI too, because something about the UI kind of feels not necessarily boring, but kind of empty. So having more things like that can make the UI a little more busy. Another thing that's being added is more information about heroes. So basically, you know how you press F1 when you're playing a hero on Overwatch 2 and you're able to see their information, like their basic abilities and what they do. So on top of that, now you'll be able to get more information about like maybe their damage. Is it a movement? Is it a stun? How long is the ability? How long will it take for the ability to come back? Just more information, the ability. The example that was used in the video for the Overwatch 2 spotlight was Reinhardt's charge. The CD 7 seconds, it's a movement and a stun type ability. It does 300 damage on pinned, 50 on collision, and the ability lasts for a duration of 3 seconds. Like I said, a super duper cool addition, especially if you're new to Overwatch. Whether you're professional or just a newbie to Overwatch, this is good information to have. Like if you're trying to learn a new hero, you can get more information and build your playstyle, to that way, and just be more informed instead of kind of going through the ropes of it. So overall, not a terrible addition. I don't know, for me it's just nothing bad, dude. Like for most of the stuff here, it's nothing bad. It's literally just quality of life additions and some great additions that I really can't see being like a bad thing, right? And now another Overwatch level announcement that we got is the announcement of the new hero that is coming, the new DPS hero. Her name is Freya and she's from Denmark. Now with the way they explain Freya, it sounds like she's kind of like, she has a huge learning curve, but she caters to a lot of play styles. So if you want to play long range and kind of sit at the back, you could do that. But if you want to be in front and cause some havoc, then you could do that. That's kind of how they described her. Now off rip, when I saw her, just like how a lot of people thought, she looks super similar to Widowmaker. I'm like, damn, for some reason, people on Twitter made this like a humongous issue. Anyways, for me, I'm not tripping. I think it's super cool. I think the coolest thing about her that I find mad interesting is the crossbow. But with what I've seen so far about her, I think I definitely give her a shot. Like with Hazard releasing, I wasn't super duper interested in playing him. Honestly, I think I played like a few games on Hazard and I was like, yeah, I'm not that interested in him. But yeah, new DPS hero. It kind of feels like it's been a while since we've gotten a new DPS hero. So shout out, excited. Hopefully she's not broken. Now another hero which I am super duper interested in is Hero 44, codenamed Aqua. Now off rip, if you were watching this video and you've played Marvel Rivals, you would probably compare him to Iron Fist. But based on what we've seen with the design, and for some reason this is what I thought at the time, it was probably because of what the bro said during the time, but it seemed like he's gonna be like a brawl type hero for DPS. Maybe not, but I think it'd be super duper cool to have like a brawl DPS, because we kind of got Doomfist and Genji and that's it. It'd be really cool to see like a brawl DPS, but yeah, that's just pure speculation from my part. And another humongous announcement is their new game mode that is probably coming soon. I forgot when, called Stadium. Now, off rip, you'd probably compare Stadium to, well, Marvel Rivals, mainly because it's third person. So basically, you can play on third person on this new game mode Stadium, but it has like a whole huge thing. It seems like it's something similar to Paladins. There's like a perk system that affects like your team. There's traits. It's humongous, dude. But it seems like normal Overwatch with just perks and traits. You gain like a currency, you spend it on these perks and traits. Something super duper similar to Paladins. They put a third person spin on it. I saw Anna nano the entire team. That is absolutely bonkers, mate. And at the time, I thought like, yo, this game mode actually looks super duper fun. And then I kind of got a little bit gloomy because I thought that it would have been super duper cool if we could have gotten this game mode in a PvE form. Because like you have all these perks and you have these systems and etc. But it would have been really cool if it would happen in a PvE setting. Because from what I've seen from that video concerning the new game mode Stadium, it seems like it's super duper fun. But it may not be as super duper fun going up against a team of people who are like, you know, min-maxing everything. Not to say that that's not fun, but I think I would personally have a lot more fun doing it in a PvE setting where I'm with the bros. We're like, yo, I wanted to go around with Anna and you go Diva so that you can get this thing, which then doubles my nano, etc. You know, that's what I thought. And I think the reason why they made it into a PvP thing is because they know that PvE unfortunately isn't where the player base is at. Like, it sounds stupid because Overwatch, you know, the PvE was a huge thing, right? I mean, a bunch of the traits and like the perks that we see there, they're probably from the scraps, you know, PvE. But I feel like truly no one's really stuck with any PvE form of Overwatch. Like, there's been so many attempts at PvE with Overwatch and they've all kind of just failed. So that just shows to not only Blizzard but the team that like, yo, PvE is not where, you know, Overwatch is at. Let's focus on what people are truly there for, which is the PvP. But besides that, I do think that Stadium has the potential to be like a staple game mode, similar to Fortnite, because, you know, Fortnite has the Battle Royale, it has creative, it has no builds, it has builds, it has save the world, you know, it has all those different game modes. And you have all these people who come to Fortnite for usually those specific game modes. I feel like Stadium could potentially do that for Overwatch 2, where people really get on only to play Stadium and not like play normal Overwatch, you know what I mean? I think the potential for it is definitely there, but with it being like a PvP thing, I think it does lower the chances. However, I'm super mad interested. I'm definitely gonna be playing Stadium. Hopefully it's super duper fun. Oh yeah, this also reinforces my point kind of Overwatch just seeing itself as a casual game instead of a competitive game with introducing Stadium. But yeah, I do think those are the things that really came out from Overwatch 2 Spotlight, besides a few minor things. But yeah, that was Overwatch 2 Spotlight. Now, overall, what do I think about this? Overall, my honest opinion on this is that it's all absolutely garbage. It should be thrown in the trash. Like, why did they bring back? I'm kidding, obviously. Overwatch 2 Spotlight was pretty peak, I can't lie to you. Let me explain. So I said a bunch throughout the video, but like a lot of the quality of life things and, you know, other additions like the loot boxes that they're introducing are just additions. They're not taking away from certain things. So I think it's overall a dub in that sector. The cosmetics that I've seen, you know, they look pretty cool, look pretty dope. Like, I know that they're making a new competitive gun skin thing, and it's like a galaxy thing, and apparently they had to like develop a whole new technology just to get that, you know, happening. So it was pretty dope that they put in the effort to, you know, listen and implement what the fans were saying, because a lot of people have been complaining, especially, you know, people have been playing Overwatch for a long time since Overwatch 1. I've been complaining that like, yo, there's not enough gun skins. I'm just stacking up on competitive points. I have, you know, the gold skin and the jade skin for everyone. Like, can we get more skins? So it's pretty cool that they're going out of their way to really develop it, especially with, you know, the feedback from the jade skins. Not everyone was a fan of the jade skin. I think majority of the people that I've seen personally weren't really a fan of jade skins. So it's really cool that, you know, they kind of developed this nice look. What I think is pretty cool, because I f with the galaxy. Now the perks, as soon as the perks things come out, I can't really give a definitive answer, because like they phrased it, the perks is really just meant to elevate gameplay, and it seems like it's more in line with just making you feel like you're doing more. Like Torbjorn's turret can like stick onto walls. You can change Pharah's concussive mine to like pull in people rather than repel, which could make for some interesting plays. There's a lot more variables and factors when it comes to giving these heroes these things, and it's a lot more variables and factors when it comes to making balanced patches, because there's absolutely going to be something broken with the perks on when they launch. Like, I really bet it. I mean, I'd love to be proved wrong, but I can definitely see something being broken about it. Like maybe Roadhog has a certain thing with his ult that is per, you know, does something, and now Anna's thing does something, and those two combined make something super duper broken and you die in like half a second. And you know, not a lot of people are happy with the balance team, so I just hope that the balance team really picks up their socks here and are really like on top of things and make logical decisions when it comes to balancing heroes from, you know, now on, with the perks included. The one thing that I kind of really wished after watching Overwatch 2 Spotlight was more original game modes. So like they were talking about like, yo, you're gonna see the April Fool's thing on April Fool's, you're gonna see the Junkenstein game mode, and you know, the Sombra and Reinhardt game mode, I forgot the name, on Halloween. And I just thought about like how reused game modes are in Overwatch 2. Like there's staple game modes that come back seasonally and for certain events, and it's always the same game modes. And it would just be really cool if we didn't see the same thing all the time. Now, one thing I can definitely commend Overwatch for is definitely developing more original game modes. Like we got Junkenstein. With the April Fools, it's always a different thing with the patch notes. It's not like May's gonna be broken the same way she was last year. No, it's gonna be different this year. They brought back the hide and seek game mode with Kiriko and Genji and Mei. But honestly, I'd let that slide just because they brought new maps and new objects that you could change to. So honestly, that's pretty good in my opinion. But yeah, I guess I was just kind of hoping for more, you know? Like especially with the Christmas game modes. I remember it was December of 2024 and I was playing and I was like, damn, it's really just the same game modes. And I remember I was trying to like do my challenges and nobody plays like after a week or so. So it's really hard to get your challenges done. So it'd be really great, especially for Christmas, if we could get like a fresh new game mode or a fresh few couple of game modes Christmas related that can like really retain a consistent number of Overwatch players while those events are out, so then people can get their challenges done, and for people who just want to play the game modes are able to play the game mode. And now one thing, which is obviously something we should have all been expecting, I definitely expected it and I've definitely been seeing it, is people saying like, yo, Overwatch is copying Marvel Rivals. Oh, it doesn't matter about their changes, too little too late, we're on Marvel Rivals now, blah 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 blah. Now I've personally played Marvel Rivals and I enjoyed the game. I'd probably still hop back on it. It's just that my friends and I aren't playing right now. But Marvel Rivals is fun. But anyways, besides that, just because I wanted to get that out the way so that people don't think my thing is like negatively biased because I play Overwatch and like I hate Marvel Rival players or something. But basically, people are saying that Overwatch has been doing what they've been doing and introducing all these game modes and all these changes and all these additions like the loot box returning, mainly because of Marvel Rivals. Like the new Stadium game mode is a good example of this. They've been using Stadium as like, yo, they're copying Marvel Rivals. Yo, they are so desperate. Now, it's undeniable that Marvel Rivals is definitely a staple in the hero shooter genre now, and Overwatch does definitely have some competition, right? But to say that that entire game mode was made purely because of Marvel Rivals is actually so dumb. Now, Marvel Rivals was released on December 6th, 2024. I know that there was like some beta like thing that people could like get on and like play the game and whatever. So according to Wikipedia, a closed beta test for Marvel Rivals took place from July 23rd to August 5th, 2024 for both consoles and PC. Now, I only really heard of Marvel Rivals close to August because that's when streamers were getting exclusive access to it, and that's when really the buzz started to like, you know, wow. No, I'm lying. I actually only heard about it somewhere around November. But in a hypothetical situation, let's say that the people at Blizzard and the Overwatch team knew about Marvel Rivals from the 23rd of July. So you're basically telling me that it took 6 months to create the entirety of Stadium. You don't need to necessarily be a game developer to know exactly how much it takes to really make a game, especially an established game like Overwatch 2. But I swear on my entire bank account and all my equipment that it did not take them 6 months to develop that game mode. It took far longer. And I've never heard more points so out of touch. Just to put it into perspective, let's just talk about a little bit of what I know about making possibly a character or a game that game being Overwatch 2. So first, there's concepts. Now, talking about it in a legitimate AAA sense, there's a team that develops the concept. There's probably going to be acceptances, there's going to be rejects, there's going to be like, yo, change this, and then we got ourselves a character. And then that's the concept done. Discussions about what the hero is going to do, where the hero takes place lore-wise, boom, you got something. Now you got to actually make the physical model. So you probably jump into, I mean, I don't know what Overwatch is, but I'm just going to say Blender because that's the only software I know. Probably hop up on Blender and make a very detailed but Overwatch art style type character. Then you make the abilities. And on top of those abilities doing the things that they do, you need to actually make the visuals. So that means more modeling, more changes to the model, adjusting for hitboxes, coding the shit. Now Overwatch is an online game, so it has to work online. So you have to worry about things like network. Now boom, you have all these abilities, but now you have to code the interactions. If we're making a character that's meant to turn into a wolf, Cassidy should be able to stun that character out of that ult, while, you know, for the maybe, let's say, 1 second that it takes for that character to turn into the wolf, right? Like, you don't just make the character and it's like, okay, the interactions, you know, they'll do what they do. No, a lot of coding that goes into that, a lot of all of that jazz. And on top of what little I know about it, there's also copywriting. So like, if you've made this character that can turn into a wolf, you have to make sure that in the eyes of the law, it's okay. So if another person copyrighted their character that turns into a wolf and your character looks very similar in terms of the normal form and the wolf form, you're gonna have to go back to the drawing board, buddy. Otherwise, that's a potential lawsuit. And on top of that, there's marketing and advertising. Like, these heroes don't just come out, you know? Like, there's videos made of these characters showing off their abilities and what they can do, some of their voice lines. Actually, getting voice recordings. Especially with game development, a lot of changes made to characters are probably because of limitations with hardware. I probably won't be able to find a video, but it's going to be a really niche example. But before Sonic Frontiers came out, when he went supersonic for the first boss fight, his aura was like all over the place and people said that it looked better. But in the release of Sonic Frontiers, the super aura wasn't that humongous, it was very close in. And it was a lot more calmer than it was in the beta video. And that was probably made for performance, you know, or performance considerations. Now, this is what little I know about game development. And on top of that, there still needs to be approval with project management and Blizzard and this, that, and the third. You know, they need to approve these things and reject these things and consider these things and think about these things concerning this new character. While yes, I'm probably over exaggerating it, I think that process is definitely there and it definitely takes a long time. Like Stadium, for example, like Valeria Rodriguez, the voice actor for Venture, did say that they recorded the voice lines that Venture says in Stadium 2 years ago. Do note that Venture came out last year, so they've been working on their lines for Venture for a while now. So off rip, we already know that Stadium was in development way before Marvel Rivals was known to the public. I saw such a fucking stupid Twitter comment. Somebody said third person mode to copy Marvel Rivals. Lol. I'm not going to explain further, but I'm pretty sure you get why that is the most dumbest fucking point I've ever seen, to say like, yo, Overwatch is copying Marvel Rivals. Like, seriously. The one thing that Aaron Keller did admit to doing that was because of Marvel Rivals was literally the hero bans, because Marvel Rivals has hero bans for comp. They said that they did that because of Marvel Rivals. That's the only known thing in terms of, I guess, copying. But even I think that's pretty stupid, because hero bans are not like a Marvel Rivals exclusive thing. There's hero bans in League of Legends. It's like saying Titanfall 2 stole from COD because they feature guns. It's stupid. But Marvel Rivals didn't get that flack for copying League of Legends, for example, and taking their idea of hero bans. And I can't recall exactly all the details, but another thing to back up the Stadium point that I'm trying to make, while Emong was at Spotlight because all the streamers kind of gathered around to stream the stuff that was going to be coming to the game, like Stadium and the perks and all that jazz, right? They streamed that and they played the game with that build that had all those things, right? And basically one of the devs, Emong was asking one of the devs a question. I forgot the name of the dev, but the dev said that, you know, he's been working on Stadium for like a lot of his time, and apparently the dev had been working there for 4 years or something like that. So Stadium has been in the kitchen for years, bro. It's not because of Marvel Rivals, I guarantee it. And Aaron Keller acknowledged the competition, and he does think that it's overall good that Marvel Rivals is there, and it will allow possibly Blizzard and the team to take more risks when it comes to Overwatch, because competition is healthy and it's good, especially in this very empty hero shooter genre where only Overwatch is there. And don't tell me about Paladins and Team Fortress 2, otherwise I'm gonna slap the shit out you. Like, let's be serious. I mean, there was a bunch more that was said by Aaron Keller, but that's all this video is about. I kind of went on a long tangent about that, but hopefully around my point point across about that. Overall, like I said, Overwatch 2 Spotlight is pretty cool, exciting. Perk systems, hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's as balanced as can be from a casual player perspective, of course, because like I said, the perk system is not really for the comp players. Let's be real. It's not for the professionals that are top 500. But yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. So if you have enjoyed this video, then please do leave a like. That'd be greatly appreciated if you do want to, of course. And also, if you're going to check out my other videos or past streams or whatever the case may be, then please do subscribe. That'd be greatly appreciated if you do want to, of course. Like, it's overall a good spotlight. I think that there's some great things coming to the game, and hopefully the competition that Marvel Rivals is bringing will breed some good things for Overwatch 2, and also in turn breed some good things for Marvel Rivals. Because let's face it, both of these games are not perfect games. I do have a Twitter and I do have an Instagram. I do have a goal of trying to ratio mysteries over there on Twitter, and in order to do that, I'm going to need more followers over there, and in order to get more followers over there, I'm going to need more followers over here, so you know exactly what to do. What do you think about this video? What do you think about the Overwatch 2 Spotlight? Are you hyped? Are you not hyped? Do you feel disrespected? Do you think that all these changes are inadequate, or do you think that all these changes and additions and everything about Spotlight that was announced is great for the game? What do you think about the certain things that were said and are coming to the game? What do you think about my little case defending Overwatch 2? What type of mouse do you own? Anything that you possibly have to say, you can put it down in the comments below and I'll probably acknowledge it. And you know what it is, guys. Peace.